Hey, what's up you guys? This is MCLegoboy here with our final entry into the Phantom Menace 20th Anniversary Celebratory Frogracer Series. And if it looks familiar, it's because it is familiar. After having built so many pod racers and frog racers, I decided to go back to the first one I did back in 2015, which is not the first pod racer I ever made, but the first one for a frog. And something doesn't look right. Yeah, it's fine. Just looking at something on the frog racer itself, which I have now deemed the FP-15 Royal Croaker. So FP stands for Frog Pod. That's what the original one was called. It was in 2015. And because it's purple, purple is a royal color. And so I'm calling it the Royal Croaker. Yeah, one of these is just a little too tight. There we go. That's better. And I've gone all out. I've given us a set, a Tatooine-esque set with just a towel, a nice tan towel, and a light blue bed sheet. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that's just like what I had with the original Frog Pod. And I figured I might as well do it again for this one. So what's different then? Basically, I redesigned the whole thing, and it just keeps similar aspects. So when it comes to what I have been calling the chariot, or the chassis, or the cockpit up here, it's basically been a little bit more streamlined. It's been a little bit more compacted together, just to try and make it more believable that the pods would be pulling this along. That is kind of a staple of frog pods, is that the area that the pilot is always a little too large, but I mean, there's only so much you can do. At the same time, you know, it's fake science. So, I mean, it really doesn't matter, but it kind of does. You don't want this section to be too big, because it's really supposed to be being pulled along. It's not supposed to be adding thrust itself, although this in essence has these little engine things up here that I would equate to like helping provide some thrust. But yeah, you know, you just kind of slowly looking at it. Black, dark gray, and purple, or dark purple. Anyway, purple is a lovely color, but there's not enough parts in that color to make this frog racer, and especially not with some of the parts that I'm using. So, but you know, got kind of some sufficient greebling that's going on. I don't know, but the biggest kind of like overhaul in design, I feel, kind of are in the pods themselves. If I can do this right. Yeah. So before it was the nice big tubey part, which I don't have anywhere close to me, nor in any colors, nothing. I got nothing next to me that I can use to show it to you guys. But the thing that they use for Anakin's pod racer back in 1999, that's the same part that I was originally using, and it worked. It was nice. It made everything nice and smooth, but I kind of wanted to give it more of a greebled texture. And so, I mean, like before, I had used some parts that worked, but this time, plates on plates on plates with snot brackets thrown in there. All kinds of stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, I know now. I'm still using a 1x4 bracket going across here, but it extends to there. I don't know why. I think it's just to kind of give it an overall better flow, kind of get some natural, just like implied line going on. But this section, I mean, it's been kept the same except for this part. It's now 2 plates on top of one another. No big deal there. But that is still a successful intake design, in my opinion. So I'm still going to use it. We've upgraded to just using one energy binder, but we're using the 1x1 guys with the holes in them to hold it in place instead of using two of those things going across. I'm trying to remember what I did before. I think, yeah, before all I did was just insert them into the brackets, but the brackets don't go up this far. And at the time that I built this, I didn't have any of the 1x2 rounded plates with the holes that go through them. That actually wouldn't have been a bad thing to use. Although, what this does is it allows the pods to be just a little bit further apart. So, but we're keeping those fins up there. We're keeping the cones. We're keeping the little side engine guys that would help with course changes. Turning, that's what it's called. Jeez. But I wanted to make this as kind of a tribute to that first pod that kind of kicked everything off. And it was of October of 2015, roughly, I think. Or it was November. I don't remember. I think it was October, because I think that's when the John Cena meme was going around, and I inserted that into the review for the original. Because, you know, that doesn't date something at all, a meme. But just to kind of give some comparisons. First frog pod ever made, first one that was released in the series, Crimson Charger. The two, they look like they can kind of go together, you know? And we got ourselves the Rumblebee in there. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through everything, but, you know. Just to kind of show that, like, elements of it are still present throughout the years, I guess. Because I think those were, like, 2016. Got the EL3C Max coming in here now. So, really, I think this one is still one of my favorites because, I mean, it just feels like something that could have been in the Phantom Menace. So, we got the PIM-58C Fury. So nothing really similar between the two, but you know, it's a frog racer, and it looks different, like completely different in just how it's constructed. But I mean, it has its roots in from the Rumblebee, so. Set that one over there. And then as we kind of continue on, we got like the real macaw, the point where like a lot of smoother shapes are being used, but this one always had smooth shapes in it with these up here and this thing up there. So it's like it's got this weird greebled texture that you find in the older ones, but also has some of the nicer smooth aesthetic of the newer pods. And finally, we're gonna show it off next to the pod that has broken as I picked it up because it's fragile. There we go. One of the latest, the Sea Spray 02, and how it uses some of its greebleness, but also smooth shapes, so, you know. I'm gonna leave that one alone for a bit. It fell apart on me, so just not gonna worry about it too much. But you know, this is more of a celebration of all the things that have come from the Frogracer series. Oh my, it fell apart. Although this one goes back together a little easier than some of my other ones. I'm looking at you, MP07. That thing is still falling apart and staying over where it is because I don't want to mess with it. But yeah. Oh, shoot. Crazy designs. Crazy designs that don't hold together well. Why would I ever think of becoming a product designer for Lego when my own MOCs can't even hold together? But, I mean, this is something that, I mean, you can't make a set like this. Are you kidding? They'd all be falling apart everywhere. But I hope that you have enjoyed this journey for 2019. It has been fun. And I'm not necessarily done with frog racers. Maybe still kind of done with frogs. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this one actually has a frog in it. But, you know, after 4 months of not having frogs, we're back to frogs. But, like, if you saw the last video that I did, it was the Chameleon Vic Viper. I mean, that was something that I'd started making a pod racer for, and I still intend on finishing a pod racer for that Chameleon, because that Chameleon's just too cool. I've also got a bunny that I wouldn't mind making a pod racer for. So pod racers are not done, but they're not going to be strictly scheduled. You know, they're just going to happen when they're going to happen. So, you know, maybe I should get started on the series that I'll do in 2022, which is the episode 2 celebration, where I have horses flying air speeders and celebration of the air speeder chase in that movie, because it's one of the best parts, and it's not hard to become one of the best parts of that movie. We shall dub them mare speeders. Yes. So be sure to check back in 2022 for that series, because, you know, that's totally gonna happen. But yeah, Phantom Menace, 20 years old. It's absolutely crazy. And I hope that you have enjoyed 2019. I have no idea what I'm going to do for the rest of the year. We came close to having a review or video or something like that almost every week for an entire year. There were a few snags in there, and last week my brain just pulled a stupid. And this whole thing with the FTC and Kappa, well, I'm just going to say right now, I am a kid's channel. Like, I'm not, because I make these videos that are kind of accessible by anybody that chooses to watch them. But I don't know what this means for the future, because I was doing pretty well. We finally got the channel kind of rolling. I did better than I have in the past almost 10 years that I've been doing YouTube, and now it's all kind of dying because everything's going to be taken away from me. So we'll see what the future has in store. I make no promises on keeping a schedule or not keeping a schedule or getting you guys videos you want to see. Nobody ever leaves requests for stuff, because I forget to mention that, yes, I will take requests and I will review whatever you want me to review that I own. So, but anyway, this has been MCLegoboy. with the FP-15 Royal Croaker Frogracer of the Phantom Menace 20th Anniversary Celebratory Frogracer Series. See ya, guys.